Every 4 years, 2 billion people watch a ball. Not a player, not a trophy, a ball. And almost nobody knows that ball has its own secret history, full of conspiracy theories, goalkeeper rage, and one design so bad it nearly got banned from the tournament that made it famous. Today we're breaking down how the World Cup ball went from random leather sack to flying supercomputer. Stick around because the ending of this story involves a ball that can literally rat you out to the referee. Let's go back to the beginning. For the first 40 years of the World Cup, there was no official ball, none. Each host country just brought their own, whatever was lying around. In theory, a ball is a ball. In practice, that meant teams sometimes argued over which ball to even use before kickoff. Picture two countries showing up to a wedding and fighting over whose cake to serve. These balls were brown leather, stitched by hand, and they soaked up water like a sponge. Play in the rain, and the ball basically turned into a bowling ball by halftime. Heading it was less skill and more occupational hazard. And here's the kicker. Once television showed up, brown balls were a disaster. On black and white TV, a brown ball on a brown pitch was basically invisible. FIFA had a visibility problem, and visibility problems need a fix. 1970 Mexico. This is the moment the World Cup ball becomes a character in its own right. FIFA brings in Adidas to make one official ball for everyone. No more inconsistency, no more random hometown ball selection, and Adidas doesn't just make a ball, they make the ball, the one you're picturing right now in your head. It's called the Telstar, and it's the first ball to use that black and white hexagon and pentagon pattern. The black panels weren't decoration, they were a TV hack designed purely to pop against grainy 1970s broadcast cameras. This sounds simple. It isn't. That pattern became so iconic that when you ask basically anyone to draw a soccer ball, they draw this exact ball. Even now, even kids who've never seen a black and white TV in their life. One designer literally called it the godfather of all balls. Not bad for a glorified visibility hack. Okay, the Telstar looked great. It still soaked up water like every ball before it. Leather panels, remember? Here's where it gets interesting. Throughout the 70s and 80s, the real battle wasn't about looks anymore. It was about keeping the ball dry. Adidas started coating panels in polyurethane, a fancy way of saying raincoat for a football. You know the type of game I mean. Pouring rain, mud everywhere, and somehow the ball still flies true. That's not luck. That's chemistry. Then in 1978, Argentina gets the tango, and this is where the ball gets clever instead of just waterproof. The panels were arranged so your eye saw 12 identical circles, even though the ball only had 20 panels. It was an optical illusion stitched into leather. Players could track the spin easier, which sounds small until you realize spin is basically the entire sport of goalkeeping. By the mid-80s, leather was on its way out completely. Enter the Azteca in 1986. The first fully synthetic World Cup ball. In theory, synthetic just means not real leather. In practice, it means lighter, more consistent, and way less likely to triple in weight during a thunderstorm. No more bowling ball headers. Players could actually trust how the ball would behave, which, shockingly, turns out to matter a lot in professional sports. This is the quiet hero of the whole story. Nobody makes a documentary about synthetic panel technology, but this single shift is the reason every ball after 1986 starts behaving more like a tool and less like a liability. Now we get to the chaos chapter. 2010, South Africa, and the jabulani. Adidas tries to innovate hard here. Fewer panels, smoother surface, supposedly more aerodynamic. In theory, a smoother ball flies straighter and faster. In practice, goalkeepers despised it. The ball moved unpredictably in the air, like it had a mind of its own mid-flight. Strikers loved the extra power. Keepers were diving at ghosts. One legendary keeper basically called it something you'd buy at a supermarket, not something you'd trust in a World Cup final. Here's the thing, though. The outrage actually worked in football's favor. Adidas took the criticism seriously, and it directly shaped what came next. 2014, Brazil. Adidas builds the Brazuca, taking the tech from the Jabulani but fixing the flight problem with 6 panels in bright blue, red, black, green, and orange. And get this, the name wasn't picked by some boardroom. Over 1 million fans in Brazil voted on it. A football named by public vote, democracy, but for sporting goods. Players actually liked this one. Predictable flight, good grip, no surprise curveballs. After Jabulani, boring and reliable was basically the highest compliment a ball could get. This next part sounds like science fiction, but it's real. 2018, Russia, the Telstar 18. It's a nostalgic throwback to the original 1970 design, but this time it's got an embedded chip inside that talks to your phone. Then 2022 hits and the ball goes full secret agent. The Alrila packs a suspended sensor inside that tracks motion in real time, feeding data straight into the offside review system. Translation: the ball is no longer just equipment. It's a snitch. It is helping referees catch you offside in real time. Somewhere, a 1970s ball maker is rolling over in his workshop, and now we've got Trionda, built for the 2026 tournament across Canada, Mexico, and the US, with the fewest panels a World Cup ball has ever had. Fewer seams, smoother flight, more data inside than the Apollo guidance computer probably had. We went from random brown sack nobody could see on TV to internet-connected snitch that helps VAR catch your handball. That's the entire story of the World Cup ball in one sentence. And it's honestly one of the most underrated tech timelines in all of sports. So here's the question worth sitting with. If the ball keeps getting smarter, are we even watching the same sport our grandparents did? Or is the ball basically a 10th player now? If this kind of deep dive is your thing, hit subscribe because we break down the hidden stories behind sports stuff you see every single day but never actually think about.